It's 2 o'clock in the morning on the 25th day, 3rd month, 2022. And I'm looking here at a representation of the how much moisture is in the atmosphere, or as they say, the precipitable moisture. How much precipitation is there? Represented in this graph here. In case you was curious, this is what we know as mimic TPW. Right, here's a timestamp that actually will show you what's going on. And I'm going to go right to it. And I'll zoom it back later for a better timestamp for you. But I'm having a look here. I'm watching the beaming of this area, and I've been waiting for it, actually. I've been waiting for them to do a cut move where they fold this over and release this curl here from this main body of moisture, which will allow it to whip around, and then, well, it's going to be a much more raging storm then, actually, for New Zealand. And I'm going to cover two main storms from here, actually. I've got a big concern for northern rivers that is just developing. And I predicted this about 7 days ago. I even contacted some people to try to do something about it. I never checked their messages, so I've got some timestamps, but I digress. I'm not going to get into that. So what I'm looking for here now, I'm looking for little disturbances down here, like this, right? I'm going to do the zoom bit now. Right, here's your timestamp when that occurred. Isn't that ironic? 3, 2, 3, 2, a lot of 2s and 3s there when that beam started. Yeah, I went there. I'm going to zoom down just so you can really see that all at once in case somebody's really into screenshotting some stuff. Bzzz, something big. There's a device here that can do it and here that can do it. And when they both combine, you get a big old path like that. So I'm suspecting the what's known as ESCAT radar. Well, no, those will be the super darns. Excuse me, I was a bit wrong. It's a different type of ray. Maybe I'll show you that now. Watch this. I'm going to type in super darn. Just the word super darn, right? Then I'm going to put JORN, J-O-R-N, which is part of your missile defense network. Then I'm going to put NZ Tasmania. Watch this. And you're going to come up with this. Images of the beam pass swaths of the super darn coverage areas of the Tiger program. I'm going to just showing you some stuff you're going to do as homework for yourself. And the coverage area of just, let's say, this beam pass of this antenna down here, characteristics of this array. And if you click into things, and I hope these load, right? If it does, then we did a good job getting Robert what he needed for a computer. And thank you, community, so that we can serve the community. Yeah, down here, this thing is Brunny Island is a device, and it overlaps to here. Bzzz. And there's one in New Zealand as well, and there's PDFs to download. Right? You can do your uploading tins up here from Mr. Whittington. Whose name does that sound like? Not going there. Super Dual Aurora Radar Network, super darn, is an international network of oblique high frequency over the horizon radars dedicated to the study of high latitude magnetosphere ionosphere convection. We can move things around up in convections of jet streams. Big beams. They can do this. Bzzz. Watch it move. Off. Scan path is over to here. It is definitely within reach of that device. Remember, I showed you it can go there to there. Right? And I'm going to show you the other one. Bzzz. And off. Fields of influence. Super darn. Bzzz. See, it can cover from there to there. That's like a peacock fan, isn't it? What did he just do? And there's lots of scientific-y things that you can get into here. You know, what is super darn? Boy, that looks technical, huh? So if you look at that map, you think you know the science. All I know is, while they're not busy shooting missiles down, they can control quite a path of stuff. You know, as you can go into oceanographic research and find out so much more by just One simple search. And you got PDFs there you can go grab, and I'm not gonna. Study utilizes Tasman International Geospace Environmental Radar, TIGER, a key element of the Southern Hemisphere component of the Superdarn. Detection of brag backscatter in Southern Ocean. This is a lot of technicalities that I'm really not going to go into. Because, well, there's very few of you out there listening who would totally get into that, and the other people would just think I'm spouting bullshit. So that you can read that yourself. They can measure ocean wave heights. Yeah, you can get them hot, too. Well, it's measured. Yeah. You can heat up ocean water. It's a huge part of geoengineering. Wind driven. Yeah. Bunch of wind being blown up our smoke tail here. But anyways, you can find that information right here. And let's see if I can get the New Zealand one. And there's actually a name for their joint project. It's slipping my mind right now. Now here's a picture of the device. It's a field of antennas in another field. And it's typical of what they look like. I don't know if this is that exact one. I have to say that, but that's just showing you a Superdarn array. Bzz. And we can make small ones of these ourselves, but why would we want to put a big womp out that's going to hurt wildlife just as much as theirs is? So I have and to know the exact frequency they're using to broadcast the opposite of it to cancel their waveform out, still has to make it to that waveform, and it affects things along the way. But you might find this interesting. This one in Antarctica, they say they have these devices, and I'm for well, if we're lucky, we don't pick up any beams. Nah, I don't want any necessary cookies, but I want to show you this. So I'll click for us, and I'll delete my own cookies later. Right, and I hope this is working. Actually, I haven't looked. I'm going to slip over for a second and see. Yeah, it looks like it's going on. So right here, this is, well, a website, British Antarctic Survey. And well, you'll find these things. Why? Because you like to do homework. You see what that says? Facilitate global measurement of energy flow into and out of the Earth's magnetosphere. They want to own it all, man. It ain't good enough to just like fry some youngins at a concert and burning people. Now they want to just sap the whole planet. And I went there. If you don't believe they did that, well, I think you should go down and stand in front of one of these sound weapons and realize there's a difference between microwaves and sound weapons. Even though infrasound has a great range of frequencies. Some of them are microwaves. Yeah, some of them are millimeter size. Some are in the hands of people that just got grudges against the world. Revolutionized measurements. They're just selling the doings of it. But at the end of the day, what's that there? The global electrics. Are y'all seeing some wild lightning? I'm not going to go clickings on everything. I just wanted you to be aware. And I wanted that then you've got these. Right? That's a fact. Go look. Let's see if we can find the New Zealand one. Okay? So I'm going to just go to all. Or I can come over here to scientific. If you really want to get into looking things, you can find books. Type in the word PDF right up here, and who knows what gold you might find. Actually, if I put in PDF, take journal. Watch this. There's a new way to search, another way to search this. Now I'm going to even watch this. New Zealand University. This used to work. Of Auckland. Harp buoys. I spelled it wrong. See if it could come up. Alright, let's take this off. I want to show you something else that can warm ocean waters. And it directly has something to do with what I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So if this loads correctly, right, then they made a mistake. No, they took it off. I showed it once. They got some buoys they floated out in the ocean out there. They got little mini harps underneath them. Something, an antenna array that gives a pulse. And one of them got lost right in the chromatic trench. I was hoping we could locate it. So I'm going to go right back over to here. Well, I was here. My apologies. You get what you pay for. Hopefully the stream was good. So we have a pulse here, right? Now I'm going to do a little different type of screen. I'm going to go over to the, so we can get good timestamps. I'm going to take us over to Australia, Fiji. Fiji, you don't look like you're going to get nothing big. So you guys asked me and I'm telling you. Bring your wet cleats for your rugby team and go out and kick some fucking ass for Fiji for me. Yeah, it's time for them to get another gold. Look at that beam path right there. I'm going to stop it. Boom. 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 I got to get a keyboard that has hotkeys. But this is doing it. I got a tower and it's plugged into my telly. And I've had this keyboard all around the world. So it's just quite got a lot of mileage on it. See that right there? That's not just a satellite pass. It's wrong if it was. See that beam right there in the middle of your country? I'm going to show you 2 weather events at the same beam. Alright? They've done a move, actually. What you're going to see them done is they took the moisture here and folded it. What's my loop time here? I'm going to need 48 hours to see this one. Yeah, I looked earlier. I hope that ain't... It's loading all the screens real quick. Gosh, this machine is fast. Let me see. Bzz, bzz, bzz. That's a bit annoying, isn't it? Hold this with DMF. I'm going to turn it off a second in case anybody's having a problem. Yeah, I'm going to show you where you're in trouble over here. You are. I call it, Livsmore. You guys are going to cop it again. But it isn't going to be as bad as the last time. But this isn't just a little bit. What do I got that set on right now? I got a lot of stuff I can look at in this now. Put a webcam up and I can add it on here. Inverness all the way up through here. And this is splitting off and rotating. And it's formed and dumped 3 times already. And it's going to show 2 of them here. Let's see if that's loaded, that beam. Because we got to finish this so I can close that screen down. Okay, I'm going to do super zoom now. Whoa, man, just full beam over to here. Yeah, this is bad. You're going to quake around here. Okay, this is a live read. You'll have to excuse me. This is new data. Yeah. The possibilities of a quake around here is imminent. Here's my biggest worry. They're curling this low pressure around right now. It's putting a pressure on this island. It kind of cocks it like this. There's a plate right here. And it's 5 of them meet down here on the ocean floor. I'm going to show you. I'm going to have an in-depth look at this. I know Australia's chomping at the bit, but this is going on here now. What you're going to get, well, it's going on right now. So left or right or left, I've just got to show. Right, this beam behind Fiji is not good. Under the water here, the shape is, it's like a pork chop. Right, and I see it move a certain way. Yeah, they folded that sucker. That's the fold move. Where you pop a beam from over here. Watch it coming in. On the world one, you'll see him hit this. So I'm going to go back to that other one. See, right now. I'm sorry, but I got no choice. Yeah, you got to see the whole move. I'm trying to explain. There's a friend of mine out there who's wanting to know how I read this. So I'm taking the time right now to show you. I'll go to the Global 180. It's going to put Australia more toward the center. And it's going to do that flashy bit, and I'm not in the mood for. Zoom in, you'll see the chem bombs. I actually have, this here is like cloud satellite running underneath the radar. Yeah, because I could turn that off. I could turn satellite off, turn it back on. I got lots of beautiful things I could do. So you see how it's only nucleating up in this one spot? These are mountains. It's all headed toward this river. It's all headed toward Guilty Grafton. That's what I nicknamed the radar station a long time ago. And they're coming for this side of the mountain where they want to put more high-speed rail and they want land to grow their biomass. My goodness. I'm going to show you a different view of this in a bit. Hopefully this is loaded. I put it on the wrong side. Numbnuts. Yeah, that's what I guess you get at 2:15 in the morning when you want to show the guilt. When the whole town's asleep and you might get just enough signal to make it happen. I'm not watching that thing again. While we're here, our chemtrails here. Evenly deployed, square-ended, streamering off. Microwave popcorn clouds. Bzzz, getting fried, New Zealand style. Auckland. My goodness, what they're getting ready to do to you guys. The possibility of one of these cinder cones over here making its presence known is quite possible. Including this. Well, that is not Wellington, though. You know, there's people here. But the possibility of it is increasing. I have to say that. The EMF conditions. When you go hitting these big beams over islands that are already volatile, and they hit this one. Excuse me. I'm gonna do the zoom bit now. Because it's important. I'm gonna show it. Now I'm really gonna go in now. It gets a bit blurry, but this is the best way I know how to do this. Right, they hit this one behind here. Right? But its energy also forces a cut. I've got to stop it. Well, you'll have to watch. It makes this stop. Then it punches this with its shock wave. And you'll actually see this moisture would shift directions. And within, by tomorrow, that data will be available. And the moisture itself, some of it gets vaporized because you'll see these purples go away. All of it at once across this whole area. Each one of these squares is supposed to represent 888 miles roughly. Some say 860 something. So let's just call it 850 because it's a nice number, right? So there's not a little bit of space between here and here. Well, if you've ever flown from here to here, it's over 3 hours, one direction, depending on the wind. That's a boring flight. Even when you come in, you're seeing some rocks and you're landing. Some people are all, oh, home. Look how flat this circle becomes. Boom. It's a shove move. And there's a beam going right through this. And I don't really expect this to impact too much. It's just there to cut this and steer that. This becomes flat. So that says some beam has come along. And it doesn't allow this to go south as much. So you're going to have a square in a square in a square. So let me see. I'm going to do some stoppings here. Right? You mind if I humor myself a bit more? Because I want to have a really good look at this. So I'm going to change it to the Fiji feed. Fiji feed. And we got to go on Fiji time sometimes. And they're going to get some rain. Of that there's no doubt. But it's not like a superstorm, a geo thing, something that could sell the whole global warming of the air out of the mouths of the politicians who are just clutching our wallets and our futures by their daring. Right, you have a huge scalar square in place right over here, Wakatani, in this area here. Turanga. I don't know. If I did it wrong, I got it wrong. So if these one of White Island don't start to vent soon, and these ones off here that are under the water stop venting, one of these is going to blow. I'm reading the clouds, so I'm just really quiet right now. I got about off of Gisborne. I have got a massive chem crap. Would you look at the go? These are not naturally occurring cloud formations. I really wouldn't want to be breathing in what's falling out from this, would you? Well, whether you want to or not, you're gonna. Because, whether you believe it or not, this is in the air, over you. And you're gonna breathe it anyhow. Or maybe you're gonna hold your breath until you turn as blue as that mask that's been virtue signaling your lack of having a bad health. You've been lied to about geoengineering. And this can toxify your lungs. This can give you a cough. This can use microwaves to fry you, just like they did here. Great, I'm going to get control back here. All right, you're really only going to see this end of it now. I'm going to show you to fold on this, because they do square and square and square. Some of the localized NexRads can put a beam out, and we have seen one going in this direction, which will tend to put a curling heat out, so this basically locks cooks straight so things don't flow back through. I've seen that move many times. Sometimes you'll see the one over here kick off as this goes out to sea to continue to force it, but you don't see a beam from here going in that direction, then they're going to let it sit. Right, and that's how I determine that. So all the conditions say this is going to sit. It's going to sit about here. I'll look at the chem in a minute and tell you where the food is. So suddenly this moisture's gone. This thing's just whipping around with the wind. Where did that moisture just go? That's a big question. Right? Could it just fell out of the sky? Did it get vaporized by the microwave? Most likely. Did its particles get vibrated till they are no longer big droplets and spread out over vast areas that can be revibrated back together? That is the most likely solution to what I just said or answer, right? Because then you'll see it recoalesce later on. So this is definitely a fried storm. There's no doubt in my mind, right? And did Australia get fried? Because I ain't forgot about you. Oh, absolutely. Look at this. Bzzz, you got little white dots kicking off all over. Yeah, that's a big beam. They hit you. So we'll have to do some determining. Did any of the flow change direction? Because when you heat things up, if it was low pressure in this hemisphere is turned in this direction, like this, cyclonically. When you heat something, suddenly it'll go boop. You'll see it turn the other way. So boom. Do we have a separation? Absolutely. So they've cut this river here. This is to manipulate this. Right here. Oh, let's look at the weather plan then. So they beamed y'all. They're blasting that. They're frying New Zealand. They're frying everything but chicken out here. But people are already a bunch of chickens because they ain't done nothing about far too many things that need fixing. And when you're beaming ocean life over here and you're beaming the whales over there and you're beaming God only knows what's out in here. And all these microwaves are going on. It still ain't killed stupid yet. Because stupid lets this go on. And stupid is as stupid does. And look how stupid we are. Boom. They hit a beam. It backed up the moisture here and here and it spun. Look at that. How to make a storm. This can't keep going that direction if you put your hand up like a wall here. And the hand is EMF. And it's smacking our planet. And then they spray you like bugs. So that the microwaves have a good medium to pass through. Just the aluminum, barium, strontium, to name a few. Yeah, New Zealand, you're not looking too good here. Not looking too good at all. Look at the different color of this. Look at the chem bombs. Individual payloads streamering something that's making a cloud behind it. And they could say this is just ice crystals. I say, okay, what is the ice made of? Right? Because ice can be in many forms and many chemicals on the periodic table. So I would agree with them when they say it was ice crystals. I say, but what is the ice crystals made of? Is the next question that we deserve an honest answer to. Don't you agree? You can ask for freedom of information, but if you never ask the right question, and look at the light refraction here like a rainbow. It's telling me there's some kind of an ice crystals up there refracting light, and it's catalyzing making a cloud. And if it's on the periodic table, it is a chemical, and that is a trail. And ladies and gentlemen, this is chemtrails, and this is absolutely proven. And that's where the international date line comes in. You know, like Earth needed a clock. I'm sorry, this is horrendous to look at. This is difficult to describe, as it hurts my feelings knowing that stuff is under here. Having this fallout in its mouths, in its gills, in its food. And we talk about microplastics. Well, what that's going on here? And I don't believe this is just dry ice. I don't believe this is just silver iodine. I don't, for a fact, they're trying to do sulfur dioxide, which, when it mixes with other things, can become quite a few other compounds, compounding to the problem of what in the hell is going on here. Why is this in a straight line like a trapezoid? Oh, looking like the liver bird there. A dodo or something. Yeah, that's a dodo bird. Look at these streamers of death over my ocean. Over my ocean. I'm sorry. I'm going to go right for the forecast of the weather plan. Shall we look at the weather plan? I can't really see anything. But I see the truth here of a weather plan. This is what they say is going on, and I don't fully agree with it. See how it stalls? Now, I'm looking at this the first time. I didn't have time to look at this. I was busy. I have so many messages trying to accommodate everybody. And this just took all my time. This is just wind. That's really windy. You want to see what really matters. All right, here's the weather plan for the next 12 hours. You see what they say is going on. And I'm going to move that. Well, let's talk about a key here. The next 24 hours, they say this much water is going to be there. And it's still there. Australia won't leave you out. And it's still there. And it's still there. And I disagree fully with this, because I just showed the moisture dissipate. Fully dissipate. And it's kicking all that chem in. You want to bring that water line probably about up to here. I'd say every bit higher. They're telling you here. But the possibility of the floodwaters coming all the way over to even here is quite good, actually. Because I was checking out this stream and what it fed and where it went. Right? This here, traditional floodplain. They're going to cop it. But they always do. And while this ain't just a little bit of rain. So sometime after 3 days from now, you're getting it again. And they're right away. 24 hours from now, not that much. You got a break now. So it looks like you get a 12-hour window to get the fuck out before this much hits. Then that much is hit by then. Which is not a little bit of rain. And, well, when do the weather people tell us the truth? Because I see the conditions for worse. Now, with current thunderstorms, there's not much going on here. But I wanted you to know that. But all over here there is. This is the ones I'm worried about. Because when they get to Maury, they usually can hit a radar here with a wall, back it up a little bit, and it always makes them spin. You got to think of that. High, low pressure walls, outflow walls that cause things to spin in different directions. Anybody plays pool knows about when you hit one thing goes one way, hit it again with the same object, it's going another way, transferring its spin. Well, think about that too. Now think about pressure and spin. And well, when you look at where's the water coming from, because that's my big question. When I looked at that thing, you don't see a lot of water, right? And I'll go to one of my the graphs that really, it shows me a lot, actually. Where's the water? Right? Show me the soil moisture. All right, where's the water? It's all it's all here. There's nothing here. Now watch this. I did a good look at this. Where are they planning on soaking it? Right? Because if they won't show you one way, they're going to show you another. Right? They're saying, I want some water here. So I go look. How much they got by Friday? This isn't a little bit. 100%. So that's ready to flood. You see what I'm doing here? Are you ready to flood here, Lismore? Absolutely, 100%. Were you ready on Thursday? 100%. Add any additional moisture to this and your soil can't handle it. It's all running off. Right? This is a very big concern, actually. What do they think is going to happen by the 2nd? Has any of this dried out? Yes. Okay, so there's, you see how I'm doing my basic determinants here, because they don't tell the truth. You got to sleuth it. You do. You got to sleuth it. Bleh. Sleuth. Jeez, that's a lot of water. That trees could come down. The swinging of the trees and strong winds can loosen the rocks and the sides of the mountain. Be careful on them roads going to Canberra. I've got to say it. You might need a boat. Come in this way. This is bad, folks. Be careful. I've seen the conditions of the roads. Look at the soil moisture here too, New Zealand. You're in the same boat. And I'm going to show you your earthquake risk. So you hold on tight there, New Zealand. Because I'm elevating actually a risk for something major. Things ain't venting like they should. A lot of soil moisture. I'm very concerned through here. Again. Because they've already started this storm through here. If I come over to the sat viewer, or I can do it a different way. Yeah, I got it all loaded up. Now, here's what's going on now. See if I can reload this, get the timestamp where it is from here. Yep. And I'll go over and show you. While you're getting about your day, they're controlling your weather. Australia. This is part of the geoengineering program. The controlling the weather. Right. We're going to go right to it. I can put a few cities and coastals and going to show you why I disagree. And I very often disagree. It's how you got that warning last time. And I'm glad that all these people that used my video didn't credit me. Because I'm still flying under that radar. I'm still here, you bastards. Isn't that what Papillon said at the end of the movie, Papillon? I'm talking the real one. Not this new made up one with a new psyop in it. So you got an idea where I am now? Right? I'm going to run. Roll tape. Kubrick. And 1, 2. I couldn't resist. Ah, Byron Drum Circle, I missed you. Right, off with the cities. Because, well, they want you in smart cities. But they don't want you to be smart while you're living there. All right, here comes the boom. Oh, look at that chem bomb. Boom. How close is it going to let me get in? Oh, man, they changed my zoom bit. That's the best I can do it, but it goes fuzzy. Oh, man, you guys are going to cop it. All right, I'm going to call some hail. I see it right here. Watch this plume. You got all this coming down fast. And they put a plume out here. And she's rotating and round as it went by that radar like that. Right, she usually then she kicks out the hail on the back end as it comes through. She drops it out her ass. I'm serious. Well, I've watched enough storms with hook tails, and that's what I call it. Drops it right out its ass. Yeah, if you got like greenhouses and stuff through there, you're fucked. Yeah, really. Almost want to drag something along like a mini Quonset hut that you just pull over your strawberries. I'll say strawberries because somebody showed me the coolest picking machine I'd ever seen today. And I told him I'd have a look at his area, and I'm gonna. He's down here. And well, man, you're just getting fried. I told you were getting fried. There you go. You're getting fried. Bzzz, getting fried, Melbourne style. Oh, I'm over there then, in Radelaide. Because they're all got the rattles going on down there. No, I'm just kidding. A great wine region down there. You can get really drunk. And have regretful days. Here you go. Boom, 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 boom. Boom go to plumes off the coast of Melbourne. Boom go to plumes in Bass Strait. Boom go the minds of everybody breathing this crap as the aluminum sets the Alzheimer's in. And you won't even notice when it happens, because when you lose your memories, that's the only thing you never know when you lose it. Well, other people remind you, and you won't even believe them. It's like, who are you? Right? And they're taking your memories. They're stealing your dreams. They're making it so you shit your jeans. Look at this. Look at this cloud going the wrong direction. Everything's headed this way. And this one says, wait a minute. I think I'll go up here for a little while. Boom went that one. Look at that plume go off. On top of the microwave popcorn clouds here. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. This is a drum circle, not the chem bomb circle, man. This shit's got to stop. What's going on off the coast where the whales and the dolphins and the sea turtles are that everybody loves to put on a poster to tell us to try to save? And we're saving it by doing this on top of them. This is disgusting. This thing's going along and something shoots to the side. Pew! Pow! Boom! My goodness. Watch this explosion. It is. It's an explosion. I'm watching. I'm one of the Earth Watchers here, and I'm watching. And you know what I see? Is complacency. What I see is toxification. What I see is them setting up Lismore for another flood. Yep, I said it. Now watch the rotations of this. I'm going to zoom back a bit. This is just the current weather radar. I can put it on radar, kick off the satellite, and you'll see a big pulse here. Especially if I go to the hourly. They ain't hiding it. All right, you barely see it in there in that smudge. They're influencing the weather, man. They're frying you. And don't believe an official excuse that told you lies before. And when the lies in front of your eyes are getting fried. And this ain't Kentucky Fried Chicken here we're talking. The Colonel is still frying you, folks. Go down to the Colonel's and get some fried. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I just did that. And these little flashes here are lightning. They're telling you there's going to be lightning. Oh, no, this was an hour ago. Yeah, you had some lightning. Excuse me. Hey, look, man. It's 2:37 in the morning. And I'm nearly out of coffee. I have to make more. Yeah, this is coming your way. It's headed your way, folks. If you're down here along this coast and it's fueling as it goes, this is going to come very suddenly. Stanthorpe, I called you out yesterday, and this looks like it evaporated. I say bullshit to that. No. I'm not agreeing with this at all, actually. Right, weather warning. At any time this is volatile. They're not even showing you a real image. I'm going to go to the wind one. Seems to sometimes show some honesty. Let's see what's going on here. Where's the flow? Alright, we got cold air flow there. We got warm air kicking here and a little bit of a dull. That storm's racing that down as evidenced here. I totally disagree with their weather forecast. They're going to rain it hard through here. Oh, man. Do that to them folks again. I think they're going to destroying your sugar mill again. There's been a big agenda from that on that across the world over the last 5-6 years. I've reported it. Now this expanded in the wrong direction. All this should be flowing south like this is going, and there's a creeper down here going the wrong way. Boom, boom, boom. Inching up with microwaves and boom, boom plumes, as I call those. Why? Because it rhymes. Boom, 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 boom. Right, I'm going to show you something. You can pretty much see it pretty much straight away. Look at how evenly spaced these plumes are. And a very predictable direction that their deployment is making a cloud. Well, look at the curve to this. Don't you find that suspicious? Maybe if it was the center of circulation, Might go with that. But that's just a percussion ring from an explosion. Right here. Won't let me go in any further. You see the line of that there? Watch. Boom. 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 Don't believe that gravity wave shit. Shall we have a quick look at the space weather? Space spelled wrong. I'm not looking at the screen. Also, I'm using a different country's keyboard, which always it's bad. It makes you have a wrong key when you hit something. Space weather enthusiast dashboard. Right, we're all green, folks. No gravity waves today and their excuses. All green. Because, you know, Mother Nature can play havoc with EMF. That's a fact, and we must never deny that. Oh, we are well in the green. Yeah, I ain't gonna go with any of that crap. Aurora's not super down low. And the thing sure ain't parked over Australia right now. Okay, great. So we're all green? See the dates? You see me go look for it? Right? Can you go with that? Wouldn't anybody want to troll that one? I made sure I put it on the video this time because I do know those things. So right, I showed you the creeping death there. Oh man, Rod, they're all on top of you, mate. Boom! And I want to see what it did. I asked for something special to be made today. Fucking instantly made. Look at that chem bomb right there. Boom! There's whales out here, man. Yeah, real ones. Not those ones that sit at the card tables. Boom. Look at this scatter box up here. It was a line and then it went off into like boom, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4 payloads. Now you don't see it. See that straight lines? Then boom. Then boom. This is not cool, man. They're owning the weather and they're spraying stuff over like this is the Great Barrier Reef up here. You blame something being bleached, but when it's being fried and it's being chemicalized and nanobacterialized and is ruining lives, and the clownfish is not laughing anymore. And I'm not laughing, and I ain't clowning around. This shit has got to stop. This is breaking my heart. Yeah, batten down the hatches. Batten down the hatches. I'm going to stop looking at this part right now, and I want to show you something, New Zealand. Right, let's look at this volcano, and I want to show you my concern I've been talking about all week. I'm going to zoom in on Rapapehu. And everybody's looking at this lake, right? Everybody says, oh, look at the lake, look at the lake. Right, I want to show you the lake. Right, the lake rises. This image here was taken, historical image, right, 3rd month, 2022. So it's not been that long. This is a very current image. That's the first. So we got imagery. And as I zoom up, sometimes it changes. So I'll go backwards and do that again. Say it's 322. Okay. Let's go in. All right, here's my concern is here. Right, this area here in the past, it has lahard, right? Things get to a certain level and it drains. Now there's been some big ones, as evidenced through here, where flows have happened, and the current of the flow of the caldera has carved things out. And who knows if flames came out. I didn't get enough homework, and I'm going to take you on a tour in. When this comes out, it's very dramatic, you know. Now, my concern, sorry if I'm moving around trying to get right, is here. And as I look at this has a bulge to it. And when it comes around the corner here, and it has in the past, it has undermined this wickedly. And that might be like where the rocks are, where this water falls. Now these boulders cause great damage when this is falling. And this is undermined. This is like a dam of volcanic material that could come out all at once. And if that happened, that could be a very bad thing. It could be catastrophic. And you can see by the different colors various paths that lahars and eruptions have taken around this area in the past. Like you come over here, you see, oh, there's evidence when their cone was there. And did people all scream blue beam when that moved? I doubt it. And maybe they went, uh-oh. Who knows? But there's evidence of many eruptions around. Look at this cinder cone here. And I'm not familiar with all the names or how to pronounce them. And I'm going to just say, hey, look at that one. Any one of these could blow its top right now with the pressures that are underneath this island. And the application of electromagnetic frequency vibrating and warming the underneath of the mantle here. Electromagnetic frequency can cause earthquakes. This is a fact. A person that most famously showed that was Nikola Tesla. And he used a device called, I'm going to go show you now, because I told you I'm in the mood to do a show. Well, I'll just go find a place on Google. Tesla's oscillator, or Nikola Tesla's oscillator. Anybody in New Zealand is going to be, well, I spelled it wrong. Hey, you want the blueprints? Hey, that's pretty good. I'll go right to the images. I'm going to show you a few things. This is a device Nikola Tesla invented, and it caused earthquakes. It did. The earthquake machine. Earthquake machine. I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to use the word thumper trucks. Geophys surveys use something called a thumper truck. And on the bottom is this device here. That is Nikola Tesla's oscillator. Right, there's one. Bzzz, makes a frequency, or it taps a certain number of times in a set period of time. A frequency. How frequent does it happen? Okay? And this device is very simple. Inside one side of the piston with some air, out with another. Boom, boop, 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 with a valve, simple. And away it goes. I know some people have seen these around Christchurch before the earthquake. They were seen around Kaikoura before the earthquake. They were seen all around where fire lines were gone. Where earthquakes happen, a lot of times these trucks are seen. They're called thumper trucks, seismic trucks, and I ain't lying. People told me about that when I was in New Zealand and giving a talk in Richmond, outside of Nelson. And boy, are you guys about to get some rain there, but that's a whole nother story. Beautiful mountain range behind that town. Vroom, vroom, vroom. We ain't talking one of them, man. We're talking some monsters using trucks. Here's a good shot of one. And that's Tesla's oscillator. It's just how it's been developed. Well, we don't have to have the word blueprints. There's all sorts of articles about this, and I suggest you go look. Alright? And I want to go back to this. So, made a concern. Because I'm a wascally wabbit, and I'm going to go rabbit hole now. So this device, something here, it was bothering me. And I asked, and somebody says it's a scientific hut over here. And I said, really? Has anybody been inside it? Is that the hut? I do have good looks around. Yeah, I believe so. I want to make sure. Let's look up at the... This is what it's like if he was sitting in here. Different minerals with water make different colors when they oxidize. It's aliens, man. Right, yeah, that's the hut. And somebody says it's just a scientific hut. I thought it was lower down than that. Can anybody tell me what's really in that hut? What if somebody put a device in it that could detonate and blow that out? You say, hey, look, it erupted. And I'd say the color's on. There's a land grab. I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know what's in here. There's a hut too. Look, that's the thing. Yeah, that's supposed to be a scientific hut, but who knows? It's kind of reactor looking. I don't know. What's in there? Somebody let me know. Show me. Somebody walk in there and open the door. Show me what's in there. Yeah, because that's the only way I'll believe anything. Well, I was in there 20 years ago. We never had that in there. Even brooms have changed since then. So this is your sacred mountain. Water is beautiful and alive, and it's in here. Earth is in here in the form of ash. Fire is in here. And air is all around, man. You have all four elementals sitting here. And beware the Ides of March, which was on the 16th. Some people keep just thinking that's every day. Yeah, I don't like how this is undermined at all. It could significantly slide. This is bad. So this is the part that is my concern. Because I told somebody I'd show them. I have a tangible concern about how this is undermined and how this could fall. And the resulting catastrophe couldn't be avoided with a warning. So I'm going to warn right now that there's a potential for something bad to happen here. And if you're in the path of this kind of shit, get the fuck out. Robert wants you safe. And Robert hopes he's wrong. And I'll always say that. So right, here you go. That's it. It's, wow, I've yacked. Now it's 2:51 a.m. on the 25th day, 3rd month, 2022. And this is Rob D. And those are Thumper trucks. And this is a weather plan. And if you were wrong in here, watch out. Because Mother Nature is being tampered with by man. They're calling it geoengineering. They say it's to combat global warming. And I say it's toxifying my entire planet. Be the big love, be the big change. If you wish to support my work, I do so with buying a book at paypal.me/Robert Deutsch, or making a small donation of some kind would be greatly appreciated. But either way, we got to fix this. Big love. Peace.